Hello viewers, welcome to our lecture series on Omnijective Theory of Organizational Development. This is going to be part 3 of our lectures on the topic, and continuing my discussion on the topic which we made in the previous lecture. So, I will be starting straight away from where I left. We had a discussion on the topic of profit maximization to profit optimization, and then we also talked about the different other dimensions. We talked about the spiritual experiences, the spiritual psychology, which is actually the part of Indian psychology, and what experiences do we take from that. That is something which we discussed in the previous lecture of mine. Now, I will be elaborating you the journey towards the farthest reaches of human behavior, where we talk about the self realization. I told you about the Maslow's discussion on the topic of self actualization, what Maslow talked as farther reaches of human nature, that if I am reaching farther about the human nature, the Indian rishis on the other hand, they took us to the farthest reaches of human nature, and there I told you about the self actualization and self realization. Although the expression of self actualization and self realization, they are used interchangeably, but there is a difference in terms of degree of emphasis. You cannot use them interchangeably. You can't say that the word self actualization and self realization, they are synonymous to each other, they are synonym to each other. You need to understand the degree of emphasis. They differ in terms of degree of emphasis. If you ask me, I would say that self actualization implies manifestation of one's potential. Whatever is my potential, it is basically implying the manifestation of that, and we call it self actualization. I know that what is the position, what is my self actualization, where do I actuate myself. So it is a self manifestation of my own potential, that this is my potential. But if I look at self realization, it is manifestation of divinity within. So when I say manifestation of divinity within, it means there is no limit to that potential. So when I say self actualization, it means I am limiting my potential to one person only, to one human being only. Wherein when we say self realization, it is manifestation of divinity within. So sky is the limit, there is no limit, or you can say surprising performance can come there. Further, the self actualization is primarily materialistic in its orientation. You talk about the material success, you talk about the material presence as far as your orientation is concerned. But in self realization, your orientation changes. It includes spiritual dimension with its emphasis on divinity in individuals. You talk about looking for the divine power, divine potential in human being, that while performing that duty you could not realize from where that energy was coming, from where those ideas were originating, which you implemented. So even you are clueless about the source of that divinity which you felt from within while performing your duty. And this is the beauty of what you call as the farthest going to the farthest reaches of human orientation. Now we will talk about from science versus religion to the science religion combination. It's a long standing debate between the science and religion, which one is powerful. Science is based on cause and effect relationship, and some people say that religion is not having any scientific logic. So we have to realize the religion in its true sense, in its correct meaning, to draw a distinction, to draw a comparison, to contrast these two ideas of science versus religion to the science religion combination. Can we think of combining these two? In place of comparing these two, why don't we take best of each of the components? Can't I take best of science and best of religion both and combine it for my organization? Will it not make any difference into the way of my working as an organization if I could combine the best of these two? So this is something which I am going to tell you here in this very idea of journey from science versus religion to science religion combination. If you look at the old OD, when I am saying old OD, I am talking about the traditional pattern. I am not saying that it is not at all relevant. It is still relevant, because in transition whatever we have accumulated things over a period of time. We have accumulated that culture over a period of time. So the traditionality has its own significance, modernity has its own significance, cybernity has its own significance. So if I am standing at the stage of cosmonity, I would combine, I would accumulate all of them. It is just like, having your mark sheet of all 3 years, all 6 semesters, or all 8 semesters. So each and every semester is playing a significant role in your aggregate score. Likewise, here also you have to understand that the old OD is rooted in the metaphor of science, but with the incorporation of sacred, the new OD is based on science religion combination. We should never have this feel that this new OD is ignoring science, it is ignoring logic, it is ignoring cause and effect relationship. Not at all. It is basically an exercise of combining the science religion combination. That is something which I told you at the very outset. In place of comparing, suppose if you have two people in front of you, in place of drawing a distinction between them on the basis of their merits and demerits, can't we take the merits of both? Won't it be useful for the organization? Of course, it is going to be useful. So when sacred and secular are viewed as polar opposites, the sacred secular discussion turns into dichotomy of science versus religion. And when a yin yang view is taken, we get a new perspective in which both the sacred and the secular, they have the place for complementarity. In place of being competitive to each other, they become complementary to each other, and that is why we use this word combination. We are combining these two, and then looking at the organization, and we call it the new OD. So you can say, instead of putting the debate as science versus religion, we may look for science religion combination. And it is now recognized that both science as well as religion, they have positive and negative aspects. You can't say that science is devoid of any demerits. Of course, there might be some, depending on the area in which you are examining, in which you are doing the evaluation. So negative aspect of religion finds expression in fundamentalism, and negative aspect of science finds the expression in its misuse in many forms. So the way this science is being used, the way this religion is being interpreted, whether you are going into becoming as a fundamentalist into that, or you are not being biased. So the negative aspect of both need to be ignored here, and we should only take good thing, because we believe into Ano Bhadra Kritvo Yantu Vishwata. We belong to a country where we believe that we should take best from each and every dimension. So if best is coming from anyone, from anywhere, we should welcome that, we should accept that. In science religion combination, the aim is to arrive at synergy generated through the positive aspect of both. We should try to create the synergy of these two. We should combine them in such a way that they are actually resulting into the surprising results, or what you call as wonderful results. Traditionally, if you look at the science, it has generated mindset which ignored religion as an influence. Traditionally, we have been looking at it, and in all the literatures available, it is written that we don't agree to the people who are the propagators of science. They ignore religion as an influence. But with the new discoveries in science, science has become more tolerant. Over a period of time, and during this pandemic time specifically speaking, even the doctors could realize, even the scientists could realize that nature has its own way of managing. So the science has also become more tolerant. In fact, in its interactions with religion, science itself has undergone a change in definition and change in in their heart. So not only change in definition, not only on paper, but also in their behavior. and most of in medical science they talk about, they are simply learning the human physiology, and then they are trying to act according to the way the human body responds, and during their practice this is their experience, and based on experiences they are treating, they are curing, but still they say that I serve, he cure, and he is the symbolic of Almighty, that there is some superpower which is governing, which is actually controlling this entire universe. So the further the as the adverse manifestations of science became more clear, there is also a retreat to the religion for spiritual meanings in life. It's a retreat to the religion for spiritual meaning in life. As a result, what is happening? Hostility of science towards religion is likely to reduce. I can't say that it has eliminated, but yes, the degree of the hatred, the degree of ignorance, it has increased, or you can say hostility, it has reduced. So this would actually imply an increasing acceptance of the sacred in secular context, increasing acceptance of the word sacred in secular context. So religion as a moral weapon of the masses, it is a new definition of the religion. So my dear learners, when we talk about the organizational development, we need to understand that the way during its transition from traditionality to cosmology, the way it has traveled, it has taken a lot of good things into it, because we can call it as developing of a new culture, new organizational culture, and every organization is actually known by its own culture, which it has manifested over a period of time, which it has inculcated over a period of time. So each and every platform from where it has traveled, each and every dimension which it has touched upon, that plays a very vital role. When Marx called religion as the opium of the masses, he perhaps missed an important dimension of life that was later discovered by Gandhi. So it was Mahatma Gandhi who could discover it at a later stage. Gandhi discovered religion as moral weapon of the masses, that it is your weapon, it is your defense, and he created a non-violent revolution. Imagine that you are going to make a revolution by non-violence, by not doing anything, by simply saying that I won't resort to violence for my own causes. So that is that shows a degree of tolerance one can have. So if we look at the masses, their moral weapon is basically this religion, and religion, it has no role no role with your religious faith. It is actually it actually talks about your, what we call, the right word for it is dharma. What is my dharma? If I'm working as a teacher, what is my dharma? My dharma is, my work is to take care of my learners, to ensure that the right set of knowledge is being disseminated to my learners. So attraction of religion also lies in its emphasis on human values as well as the ethical approach to problem solving. So we can say that as a moral weapon of the masses, religion has greater appeal for the masses as compared to the science. It is more appealing, more acceptable. Adaptability is very high, because people find it easy. It is not that complex. So moral weapon of masses is basically is the right word for religion which we can use. The question comes, what is the solution? Whether we should go for science or we should go for religion, and if we are going to combine them, how are we going to do so? So we have to understand that science is now viewed with suspicion, as it sometimes or perhaps you can say that many times used as an instrument for legitimizing the oppressive actions of the elite. So it is looked at as with suspicion because of this, that you should not work as an instrument for legitimizing the something which is wrong, which is not correct. So the perspective of religion and science, it actually implies the both, that both have useful places in an individual's life, and so is the case of organization. So religion and science, they both have important role to play. Although our biases have been preventing us draw upon complementarity of religion and science, because we were actually working with some preconceived notions, but now the time has come to combine both of them. So I'll be saying that the concluding line for this debate of religion versus science is that in place of comparing both of them, we should stop comparing. They are not competitive in nature. We should actually consider them to be complementary in nature, and we should try to combine both of them. That is a real solution. As we all know that OD is rooted only in science, or behavioral sciences, to be more specific. I would say that behavioral science is also part of science, so it is rooted in behavioral science. It would remain an incomplete paradigm for bringing the true transformation in the individual's work life. If you really wish to bring the transformation in real sense, if you say that you are transformational leader, you are a leader who is there to bring transformation, then of course you should think beyond what you have been doing. You should actually rethink, you should actually relearn and unlearn what is wrong. Don't run the organization with any preconceived notion. So this new OD rooted in symbiosis of religion and science, it could fill the vacuum, it could fill the gap which is there. So what we all need is the need of a new vision. We need a new vision. Science and secularization process, it create civil society. Since the consequences of science and this secularization have the dehumanization of society and organizations, hence we can say that a new vision is needed. We should not go for resort to a way which is going for on the way of dehumanization. So we need a new vision, and that new vision is very significant, and that new vision will always encompass the combination of the two. This vision is provided by the idea of sacro-civic society, wherein the sacred has its own place, its due place in the society and also the institutions. So it can be defined as sacred and holistic impact of spirituality on human activity. The holistic impact is very much important. And once the sacred finds a place in the society, we are going to create a new history, and the dehumanization impact of the science and the secularization process reduces. So we can talk about humanization. Why do we talk about dehumanization? It would actually, I would say it is rehumanization, because that humanization is there into our genes, into our human body. We all know in our mind and body, heart and soul, we have that humanistic approach. So this dehumanization need to be reduced. If it is there, that window need to be reduced. So there is a need for humanization and spiritualization of human life in what you call as general and work life in particular. So in general, you should need that humanization, and of course in work life, since we are going to give a new definition to organizational development, wherein we talk about omnijective theory of organizational development, which looks at both objectivity as well as subjectivity. So this new vision is very important. Now moving ahead to another dimension of modernization, humanization and spiritualization. Since we have talked about humanization, now we should go a step ahead, that how can the combination of modernization, humanization and spiritualization may be of help to us. So because they are at workplace, they are all essential for achieving the goal of holistic happiness. If you want that to have that feel of Satchit Ananda, or that feel of bliss, then of course you have to understand that these three components are very important. Metaphorically speaking, modernization represents the technological dimension. When I say modernization, I talk about upgradation in terms of technology. When I say humanization, it represents the human touch, the inclusion of feelings and emotions. And if I talk about third component, that is spiritualization, it urges for a place for a clear and clear recognition of the role of spirituality in daily life and the workplace. What is the role of the spirituality at workplace? What is the role of spirituality in our daily life? What is the role of spirituality into our routine activities? So there has to be a place for clear recognition of this role. Some people feel that it has no role, but of course, when we talk about the cosmology, the new dimension of our travel, then we should understand that these three components are equally important. We need to combine all three. So humanization tends to reduce the negative consequences of workplace alienation. You can reduce. If you talk about the benefit of resorting to spiritualization, it enhances the ability to cope up with the stress. Some people say, sir, there was nothing like spiritualization earlier. Why it was not? There might be a reason for it. Might be that at that point of time when it was propagated, when the traditional business formats were running, there was no place for stress. There might not be any stress. Since now we are having different types of stress into our business affairs, the need of spiritualization or spiritual psychology is gaining prominence. So they have an important role to play in any business organization and their development. If you want your organization to develop, then you can't ignore these three components. All three are equally important, be it modernization, be it humanization, be it spiritualization. Without technological upgradation, you cannot complete the requirement of present day market. And if you don't humanize, you would actually lose faith in your human resources. But if you don't spiritualize, then of course your human resource is not going to be stress free. So both capitalist and Marxist, their thought system, it gave primacy to the rationality based worldview, and thereby a primacy to reductionist solutions. So they were simply talking about being rational, and national. But when we got this modernization, it turned into mechanization. I can say that modernization is nothing but your mechanization, advanced level of mechanization, because there is an unending quest of efficiency in material terms. We want to complete a task in fraction of seconds within no time. We talk about just in time. We talk about Six Sigma. We talk about zero defects. Imagine. So this is nothing but mechanization of human effort by machines wherever it is possible. So wherever machine can do, we are going to replace. We have, in this process of mechanization, we have been replacing humans with the machines to the possible extent. Wherever it is possible, it is being done. Imagine when you are doing online shopping, what is happening? There is no human being to listen to your queries. Initially, these are the chatbots who are responding. It is the machine which is responding. So we need to understand that where are we standing and what is the need of the hour. So both, the agenda of both, that is capitalist and Marxist, it stopped at modernization. Then the next level of social development, that is what you call as humanization and spiritualization, are still the unfulfilled task. Still we have to complete, we have to accomplish. Cause those thinkers, they stopped there. They thought that they ensured modernization and their job is done. But can we leave the organization with only inclusion of technology? When we understand that with modernization turning into the mechanization, knowledge generation in terms of theories and concepts, it became heavily loaded in favor of mechanistic metaphors. So the touch of softness or the influence of the yin was missing in those ideas. And we all know that these two aspects of humanization and spiritualization, they provide the key to create a sacro-civic society. And these kind of organizational development practices based on humanization and spiritualization, they could help in achieving this goal. So the unfulfilled agenda, the unfulfilled task which is there, it can be fulfilled by simply including this aspect of humanization and spiritualization into our organizational activity. When we talk about the travel, the physical travel, there is also a travel called mind travel. Imagine that we have stories on that, that those rishis, they used to travel by their mind, or by their own wishes, what they call as man ki gati. That with the speed of, suppose I think of you and I'm with you, you are sitting at a place thousands of kilometers away from me, and I just thought of meeting you in person, and I reach there. Imagine the mind travel and the physical travel. It seems to be a kind of unrealistic approach. So we need to understand the ancient cosmologies and modern technologies, the difference between the ancient cosmologies and modern technologies. Can we take a pause and try to understand what was there into ancient cosmologies when there was no technology, and still people used to connect, they used to meet each other, they used to interact. So the new OD and the vision of sacro-civic society, they are based on combined impact of the knowledge gained through the mind travel and the physical travel. The ancient cosmologies, they make sense to us, and they have relevance for contemporary times as well as the future, because they were based on mind travel. They were based on technology on which we are still working upon. We are thinking of that technology which can let us reach to the places at the speed of the mind. Can I travel with the speed of my mind? So our linear view about the progress of knowledge is based on the physical travel concept. The speed of physical travel has been increasing, and in future it is expected to increase further. It may become possible for humans to go for interplanetary travels. So gone are the days when used to say that we are only on earth, it is a planet on which. Now we have started thinking of interacting with the other planetary people. So interplanetary travel is going to be the future of this era, and because of the increase in this physical travel speed, it is assumed, it is believed that ancient insights are not relevant for today, because our speed is increasing only in physical terms. Although ancient rishis, they undertook mind travel through thought experiments to unravel mysteries of the universe. So if we are able to research that, then of course it must be in the existence. So we can say, my dear learners, that their insights are surprisingly similar to modern discoveries. So with this, I hope you must have understood the nuances of this new dimension of organizational development. Thank you so much.